Oh, gem jacket here. All right. Let's arrange this. So I'm going to play a little more conservatively in this game. Try and play Slav defense. A little too loud there. Yeah, this looks good. Let's see. Yeah, he's preventing me from playing the 1 hour Gambit there with e5 by playing in this move order. So we have a very traditional Slav. The main line actually is to take and develop bishop to f4, but I always play this Semi-Slav. Well, not always, but usually play the Semi-Slav here. And I'll play the Moran variation if I get the chance. But the Moran variation happens with e3 and not with the bishop being pinned here. So I could have gone for a more exciting line. I think with the bishop g5 move, I could have played h3 and then tried to win a pawn over here. Gets into some crazy lines, which I don't know too well. So Gem Jacket from the Netherlands. Yeah, played him before. I have a pretty good score against Gem. It says I have 4 wins, no losses, and 2 draws in 6 games that we've played. He takes my knight without being prompted. That's a line. Instead of bringing the knight here, you play h6, and bishop takes knight, and queen takes bishop. So this way I get to take with a knight. I think this is good for me. Not entirely sure it's that great, but I mean, it's not. I didn't have to waste a tempo on h6. I mean. Okay, everybody's developing normally here. I can annoy the bishop. This is one of those funny moves. You wait till the bishop moves and then you take the pawn, which you were planning to take all along, but forcing white to waste another tempo. But is it really that great? So b5 immediately kicking the bishop, then a6 supporting the b pawn and preparing the move c5 to kind of open things up. That's the usual way of playing in the Moran variation, which this is sort of similar to it, except that the dark squared bishop is gone. So the idea of defending the b pawn is to enable the move c5, which I will go ahead and play right here. Or should I castle first? If I castle, well, he's not going to be able to play b4 to stop it, so I can go ahead and castle and then play. Now I can play c5. He can play e5 there, forking my bishop and my knight, though. That's annoying. So c5, e5, c6, c4 rather, hitting his bishop. He just retreats the bishop, and I've still got no fork to worry about. I'm not sure where I want this bishop. Let me just back here. So now I do have to worry about sacrificial attacks. But I've got this diagonal covered, so the idea of sacrificing the bishop here and bringing the knight to g5 is not happening here. Not happening at the moment. So, but if I play c4, pawn takes, bishop takes, knight, leaving my bishop hanging. So let's develop my bishop and my queen over here on the queen side. Just trying to keep in mind at all times this possibility of bishop takes h7 and knight g4. Something to always worry about. I wonder. So he's just blocking this diagonal. I have knight f4, but is it doing anything? No, I think I'm still going to go ahead with this queen b6 idea. Queen b6 and c5, just to open up a line for this bishop. Maybe rook c8 first, either before or after playing c5. And let's see. So he goes for the exchange. So that means I get the bishop here, and I have a bad bishop. But I can push my queen side pawns forward, I think, and I think I can find a good use for the bad bishop eventually. So maybe b4 immediately, because otherwise I won't be able to get it in once he's played b4 himself. He goes after the queen, and also the square here on c5 looks good. Looks like a good square for the knight. I'm going to take anything that shows up on c5, I guess. He can't easily harass my queen as long as my bishop is covering this c5 square. But he can drop his knight in there. So maybe I'm not going to take it right away. Maybe I'll let it sit there for a move or two. I want to put a rook on the c-file, maybe threaten to win a pawn. And if he takes this bishop, and this is actually my problem bishop, so it's not a problem for me if he takes it. If he doesn't take it, I will continue with a5 and bishop to a6 maybe. But starting out with bishop takes, rook takes, pawn takes, queen takes. Yeah, I am threatening to. Oh, he plays on there. That's interesting. So I have to be careful now. I've got to stay in touch with the bishop. And he can't. Yeah, okay, I've got a problem here. If I go queen to b6, he's got knight to d7, forking the rook and the queen. I can take his rook. He takes my queen, I take his queen. He takes my rook, I take his knight. But if I play queen here, he plays here, I take the rook, he just takes back. The fork is still in effect. Okay, and I need to defend the bishop too is a problem. So where can I go? The only square I can go to is really c6 that I see. If I go here, that the knight covers it. Here, there's the fork, and no other square really keeps in contact with the bishop. So I go here. If he takes the bishop, then I take back. He can do a tempo move over here. I can. Yeah, so let's look at all the moves the knight has, because all the discoveries of an attack on my queen. I guess in most cases I can move the queen out of the way. And if he goes to any of these squares, these four squares, I can take back with the queen. If he goes to any of these squares, I can move the queen aside. He can really only go here, here, or here. Yeah, I don't see it. It's that great. I can also think about taking his rook. Queen takes rook, rook takes queen, rook takes, and then grab his knight if he tries something tricky like knight to e4. So he's got to go to a safe square like b3 or d3. Then I can even grab a pawn over here. So probably knight takes bishop is best. Knight takes on b7. Or he could leave it there. If he leaves it there, bishop takes, rook takes. Then I grab the pawn over here. Might be interesting. It's a pawn sack, but maybe he's got a passed pawn for it. Maybe it's worthwhile. Okay, a lot for the white player to think about here. Let's see, is he still connected? Let's see, am I still connected? Okay, yeah, I'm still connected. Yeah, he's still connected. Okay, he's just thinking. How long is he thinking for? 6:30, 4:30. Sometimes that indicates a disconnection. A think time of 2 minutes. There he goes. He defends the pawn. Yeah. So that makes sense. Based on what I was saying, I was just going to take his knight and then win the pawn. Now when I take the knight, he can take with the rook, and he's not losing the pawn. Okay, I'm going to defend my pawn and open up a diagonal for my bishop. Turn my bad bishop into a good one. Okay, he's going to go for an attack over here maybe, or maybe he's going to double. So maybe I need to get rid of his knight now before there's more of a problem. And let's see, is there a better square for the queen? No, I don't see it. I want to allow the bishop to come to a6. I don't want to take that square with my queen. I want to stay in touch with my rooks. I should have gone there. I should have defended that. Okay, well, let's see if I can make something of this. His rook is a bit off sides. So let's attack his b pawn. Yeah, I just didn't notice that pawn was not defended. So a sheer blunder, but his rook is a little bit shaky on that position. So he just goes back. So when he retreats here, I can grab a pawn. If I take his rook, he just takes back with the pawn, and his pawns are starting to look pretty strong even. And his queen is attacking my b pawn. So I think this is the only way to play it. And now he can potentially double rooks. I can oppose. Rook takes, bishop takes. Yeah. Is one way to play this, and I probably need to do that. It's the pressure is building.
Check.
And if he tries to line up with his queen here, I can block with my rook conveniently. So I may be holding on here. It's not looking so great, but maybe it's not losing yet. And both of us have a weak back rank. There's always this just rook to the back rank checkmate threat looming in this position. So if I could lure his rook away from the back rank without, well, he can defend with the knight and the queen right now. Let's see, down to 3 minutes. That clock is ticking. His, that's funny, his a pawn is hanging. But of course I have this, like I said, I have a back rank problem. But that means, let's see, rook here, rook takes, pawn takes, queen takes, he takes here and checkmates me. Maybe I need to play something like king to f8. So that I have the e7 square to walk to. Yeah, so he's going for that. This is pretty forcing. It's hitting my bishop. So that's his idea.
Server announcement.
That's not right. He left his rook undefended. I'm not
Check.
sure. I'm not sure what he intended.
White resigns.
He may have had a different move in mind. Okay, well, interesting game. At least I won that one, and I will do a post-mortem, see what I missed along the way. See you guys later. Bye.